Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Church with a Two Dreaming Heart.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome
To the church with a two-dreaming mom. Welcome to the church with a two-dreaming mom. We are inter-spiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a two-dreaming mom. One more time now. Welcome to the church with a two-dreaming
Wee doggy is right. How are all my wee doggies today? How you doing? It's cold here. It's got a little chilly
It
here.
is. I want you to take that down so I can see who all our wee doggies are.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Now put it in the gallery view so
All
we
right.
can
So
say hi to folks.
there's
Dawn.
we
Hi,
got the
Dawn.
gallery view. Alrighty.
I see Arizona. I think I saw Connie in there too. There's Connie. Yep. Connie in Arizona. Yay!
Yay.
And hey, everybody on the radio listening in. We are so happy to be here.
Yeah, we had a really good week this
We
week.
did.
I resolved some really difficult spreadsheets, so I'm like really on top of it. But it means something to me. What does it feel like when you accomplish something, right? It's like something that you're pretty good at, but even when it's like, oh, I really know how to do this, and I'm being appreciated for it and seen as so that's a really good feeling when you can give your talents to the world and they're actually seen and appreciated, isn't it? I don't think we really do that enough for each other. To say, wow, you're really good at this, or really say, wow, great haircut, or those are amazing colors on you.
I like this haircut myself.
Oh no, I saw it on the shelf and I thought you just should have it.
I pulled it out and just shook it off, and here we go.
I know. Don't you wish you could do that too? Go into the closet and it's like, what body am I going to wear today? What hair am I going to wear today? What's the thing I'm going to be wearing today? Because we're all one, right?
We are.
That's like God appearing as all those things. God goes into her closet and she goes, I'm gonna, who am I gonna put on today? I'm gonna, I'm gonna wear everything today.
Well, Hafiz says, "Sweetheart, oh sweetheart, you are God in drag." That's a poem from
Hafiz,
that's
Sufi.
a poem from Hafiz, a Sufi poet.
And today's lesson is it's kind of cool because Rumi uses, and you have a song about this. About the guest house, about us being the guest house and our emotions and things like that. Hey, Robin. Hey. And about our lives and our emotions and our presence being a guest house. Yeah. And you welcome all beings into your guest house, whether it could be
maybe it's a tour group of sorrows. Yeah. But I'll be thankful for all who come, because each and every one of these strangers are sent as teachers from the beyond.
And he calls them guests.
Yes.
And we're going to talk. The Course in Miracles uses the same metaphor in this chapter we're going to talk tonight. Did you know that? I didn't
realize that.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
And but I'm interfaith, so I pull it all together. Well, I might as well just introduce myself. My name is Reverend Glenn Morton Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher and integral scholar. And this is the love of my life of 16 years on Halloween this year. 16 years. This is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda.
Well, hi. And I've had a nice accomplishment this week too that Robin actually was able to share with me this week. This week on Tuesday, I released my children's storybook, called Queero, and I'm so excited. I'm going to share that video with you at the end of our show today.
Because it's fun and upbeat.
It's so much fun, and I really want to share it with you. And I really thank you, Robin. I haven't had a chance to thank you for joining me on Tuesday, so thanks, everyone. So let's get
to the song.
started.
So you can pull out your book in the meantime while we sing. We're going to look at chapter 26, section 10 today. So if you want to, from the third edition, you want to get on that.
Okay, so this is our theme song.
You know the words. Sing along if you know it.
A call and response. Here we go. Let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me
will live in peace.
and live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
What anything is for.
Unless I listen to that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
this simple truth.
This simple truth.
That
everything
is for
my good. Turns out.
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You and me.
You and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
Well, I'm not this body.
I'm not this body.
Although it is voluptuous.
It is voluptuous and beautiful.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
That you see.
I am as God.
I am as God.
Created me.
She created me.
And we are all.
We are all
one family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible
to live in peace.
To live in peace. What do you say?
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change.
Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace. Kumbaya.
Yeah!
You get the kumbaya in there? Do you remember that part? Remember that you get the kumbaya?
Of course they do.
Okay. I like the kumbaya.
I know it's much
Brings back memories to me. All those times in Bible camp and in Sunday school and Bible school.
I know, and it always makes me laugh when you know people say things like, "Well, what do you want here? You want to just be a kumbaya moment?" I'm like, "Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I do want a kumbaya
I'm so
moment.
you found me out. I just want to live in a kumbaya world. You know, I'm guilty."
Well, we have a lot to share.
We do.
We're so glad you're here. Our basic theme. We want to thank Jacqueline. She may pop in a little while, but she sent us this.
Oh, I know. I've been really
book.
enjoying this. Because I'm an integralist, one of the founders of Integral.
Wait. There she is,
There she
Jacqueline.
is. What do we speak of?
We just thanked you.
We just called you out, Jacqueline.
We were just thanking you for this cute, wonderful gift.
It's really very cool.
Thank you.
I'm an integralist, and one of the founder of Integral Studies is a man named Aurobindo. And
Yes.
Aurobindo and the mother, that was like a guru team, a lot like
How about that?
me and Yolanda. These are very, very inspiring people. I hope one day and they even built a town.
Oh.
You know, they went and created a town that has these spiritual tools and spirit, and the governance is run by spiritual principles, and it's
Well,
marvelous.
that's what we might want to think about too.
Well, we're doing that in Vermont, and we're going to be there next weekend.
Yes.
So
actually,
we probably will not be able to
broadcast
live next weekend, but we're creating our own Oroville in Windham, Vermont. So you'll have to come by and see us there.
Yes, indeed. Well, so will your place look like a golf ball too?
Yeah, there's a big dome. It's this altar, this temple. It looks like an Epcot Center, or like a golf ball.
That's right.
And it's very cool. It's extremely beautiful. It's in the central India, and it's in Pondicherry, India.
Been there, haven't you, Jacqueline?
Gorgeous place that they turned a desert into an oasis.
Awesome.
Just absolutely fantastic. We want, what we're hoping to make so is your place an oasis of peace? Are you creating an oasis of peace in your own life? Do you live by spiritual principles? Do spiritual principles govern your checkbook, or govern your relationship, or govern the institutions that you participate in?
That was interesting when we really realized we could turn everything over to letting spirit flow through, and guide, because as I've shared before, most of my life I've been very financially unstable, and in a place where I've scared myself with all kinds of financial dysfunction, and then together we were able to really realize and turn that part of our life over to spirit, And the song I'm going to share first today
takes action, though.
It does, for sure.
Those are actions you take.
Those are actions and practices, and practicing the spiritual principle every day. However, and one of those things that I practice is a song that I'm going to share with you here in just a few minutes, called "Step Back and Let God Lead the Way," and that's a Course in Miracles lesson. But first, I want to share today's Course in Miracles lesson. So before we do that, I want to say that our overall theme for the day, is justice.
Yeah,
interesting.
I know. Justice.
Interesting.
The end of, and the section we're going to look at is called "The End of Injustice."
The end of injustice. So we had this really interesting, we had this really interesting class on Wednesday, which you're all invited to if you want to come. You'll have to
shoot me an email.
Shoot gmganaway@gmail, or yolanda@yolanda.net, and say you want to come on Wednesday. So we were discussing, based on what the text has to say about justice and injustice, we were sharing other words that we could use for the word justice, and we found a lot of really good things.
Yeah, because like most things in the course flips the definitions on their head. Flips forgiveness on its head. Forgiveness isn't forgiving them for what they did. It's forgiving people and ourselves for what we didn't do. Okay. Even God asks for our forgiveness.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
justice, she flips it,
flipping it around, and I thought something really interesting that somebody came up with was, well, isn't this the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so that was an interesting contribution to the conversation. So in that vein, I wanted to share that's our theme today, and let you see how these next few things I'm going to share with you tie into that theme.
And it's no accident to say that the text follows the lessons.
Right.
So I bring you a section of the text that corresponds to 12.8 pages. Something in there of that 12.8 pages that corresponds to where we are in the lesson. We're on lesson 298, and lesson 298 falls in the chapter of what is time and space and how we use them incorrectly. So what does the discussion of justice have to do with time and space?
Yeah, interesting. Sci-fi. For all you sci-fi fans, time, space, continuum. Anyway, so within all of this conversation is lesson 298. And it says, and remember, for those who aren't really used to the language of the course, it speaks in, patriarchal language
and monarchical.
Yeah,
and monarchical.
So just so you know, just so you know. Anyway, the lesson says, I love you, Father. I love you, Father, and I love your Son. So I love you, Mother, Father, God, and I love your creation.
I love your Creator, and I love your creation.
Yeah. So, and I want to read this very first part. The lesson goes, my gratitude permits my love to be accepted without fear. Now, that's a concept.
Right.
My gratitude
permits my love to be accepted without fear. You see the 3-step process as a reaction against fear. What should you do in fear?
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Go to
have gratitude that there is love available that could be accepted. It's an acceptance of what is.
And then
the remedy for fear is an acceptance of what is.
Very good. And then it goes on to say, and thus am I restored to my reality at last.
So how do you restore reality? Proving
gratitude, accepting love, and moving through your fear.
Right.
Now, I mean, so moving through your fear, like,
is just the discovery where you were wrong.
Truly, but I mean, there are feelings attached to that.
Oh yeah.
So
they might not go away.
Right, you have to feel them.
You might continue feeling for the rest of your life.
Truly, but that's okay because I'm restored to my sanity.
I know.
In this process, and then.
My reality. I am restored to my reality at last.
And all that intruded on my holy sight of forgiveness takes away. And this is my favorite part. And I draw near the end of senseless journeys, mad careers, and artificial values.
Mad careers and artificial values. Senseless journeys, mad careers, and artificial values.
I accept instead what God establishes as mine, sure that in that alone I will be saved, and sure that I go through fear to meet my love. I go through fear
to meet my love. So what's the goal? To meet your love.
Awesome.
And so I want see we're really picking this apart.
We are,
because it's no accident that this lesson 298 falls in to the time and space chapter, and specifically talking about justice. So when you think about, if I do these things, if I accept instead what God establishes as mine, what's real, right? This reality, and in that alone, that reality, I'll be saved from my poor decisions.
Yeah.
Sure that I go through fear. Sure, I'm absolutely confident that whatever I'm experiencing right now is for my good.
And I can go
and
through
I meet my love.
Yeah.
The presence, in the introduction, the course says, what we're doing here is mind training so you can see what stands in the way of your experiencing the presence of love. And she calls this your inheritance.
Beautiful. Okay, go back to the room so I can see everybody. Isn't that exciting? I wanted to see
meet
all of
my
you.
love.
I'm meeting my love right now.
Not a mad career.
I know.
I'm not on the Course in Miracles in order to meet my mad career
or a senseless journey.
A senseless journey. Oh God, I've been on more senseless journeys than I've got hands and feet. Or fingers and toes.
Fingers and toes. Okay, so the other idea, I'm leading us into my, circle of love meditation because I have my bell. But the other thing I wanted to share with you as we go into that moment is I'm reading this really cool book by Paul Levy, and it's called Awakened by Darkness. Now this has sort of been on my mind lately, and as we move into the Samhain season, Halloween, I mean, this is particularly resonant for me and Glenn. you know, it's our favorite holiday. It's traditionally in pagan traditions where
The New Year.
the New Year and the when the veil between the
New Year's
worlds
Day.
are thinnest,
Mhm.
yeah, is the thinnest. You
New
know,
Year's Eve is a Halloween night.
yeah, exactly. So all of this conversation about facing your fear and moving through it and
Meeting your
feeling
love.
it, meeting your love as you
We
move
were
through
married
it.
on Halloween.
Right,
So.
here we are. All of that has given me an interest in integrating the darkness, you know, integrating what I see in myself that needs to be healed and that I can have been afraid to look at, those kind of things. So this book, Awakened by Darkness, identifies what Native Americans
A
call
concept.
an idea that the Native Americans call Wetiko. It's in different Native American languages. It has a slightly different wording, but it's basically this word called Wetiko. And Paul Levy translates this word by calling it the virus of selfishness. Now, there was something about the way he put that really resonated with me. And then he began to give examples from his life about being raised by a very narcissistic family, by a narcissistic mother and father, and how that was damaging, but also showing us how it's reflected in the bigger society that we've created.
You know,
right?
those are foundational values for our
So,
society. Selfishness. The Course would say
yeah,
the virus of separation, or the belief in
exactly. The
separation.
belief in separation.
You know, this
Yeah.
this I'm selfish. You know, I have to gather everything. Take if you know, the one of those take. You know, the belief. That's the third law of chaos. Fourth law of chaos is competition is real.
Oh,
like I
right.
get to keep what I can steal. You know.
Well, let's blow all of that out
I
of the
know.
water.
So
Anyway, I've been looking at this as both personal and universal, as how we got to this place where we are in our world right now, right? And it's not so taking responsibility for the narcissism that I find in myself, right? And
my own desire for separation.
My own desire for separation. Yes.
Finding how I manifest, or I am perpetuating my own misplaced or mistaken belief that it would be better if you just leave me alone.
or do everything the way I want you to.
Or you know, maybe or maybe I should leave you alone. I don't know.
No, but it's just so I don't have any answers. You know, I'm just reading and I'm asking questions. So I want to bring one thing I want to bring all this into the circle of love and bring us out of the circle of love with something that does resonate with me as a tool, which is step back and let God lead the way. So as we move into this time of the circle, when we move out of it, we're gonna play the song, and it's a live version of this song from my show Reverend Yolanda's Old Time Gospel Hour, and we're just gonna leave the YouTube image on the screen so that we can all just take a moment and reflect on what the song has to say. So here we go. 3 times the bell. Breathe with me on the last time. Let's exhale with an Om, and we'll enter our circle of love together. Here we go. It fills me with joy today to know that here together in this room, we are co-creating a circle of love, a circle of unconditional love, because that is what we are made of. We are the divine spark of unconditional love in this world. And as we consciously consider and create this circle of love, we feel that unconditional love welling up inside of us and spilling out of us into the room that we're inhabiting, and into the building that we're inhabiting, into the house, into the streets, into our neighborhood and our city and our state and our country and our world. And we know that everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included in this circle of love, because love is unconditional. And we can learn from that which we do not like, and we can learn from that which we do like. So consciously, I want to bring into our circle today the knowledge that we are sitting on land that once belonged to the native peoples of this country. And in our particular area, we're sitting in the land of the Lenape. And intentionally, I want to bring into our circle that Black Lives Matter and Black trans lives matter. And I intentionally want to bring into our circle the upcoming election in the US. And may we learn from this election. And may we know that what we like and what we don't like is also included in this election and in this circle. And so we bring this all into the circle and know that if we step back and let God lead the way, we'll find out what is ours to do. So it is.
The road lies before me, the path leads to home. On this road I travel, never more to and God walks with me. God walks with me. Her hand in mine. Hand in mine. And though I may falter, I won't be left behind. I surely will falter, but I won't be left behind. And so I will step back, step back, step back, and let God lead the way. And so I will step back, step back, step back, and let God lead the way. My brother walks with me, and my sisters too. All of us seeking to live in the truth. Sometimes we are troubled. Oh, we are troubled. We forget who we are. but we're brighter than glory. And heaven, it's ours. We shine bright as glory. And heaven is ours. And so I will step back, step back, step back, step back, step back, and let God lead the way. And so I will step back, step back, step back, step back, and let God lead the way. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. You know what? Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us, not just in some of us, but in each and every one of us. And as we have the courage to liberate ourselves from our own fears, yes, our very presence will automatically liberate others. Yes, that's how it works. So sing hallelujah, everybody. Let's bring it on home. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. And so I will step back, step back, step back, step back, step back, step back, and let God lead the way.
We have one mind, you know, where the mind of God, where we actually exist is in the one mind of God, where love is and where it all is. And some of us get to download information from that space.
And you do too. And I think you have a little download for us today.
Let me get my download notes.
Download notes are coming.
I know.
Download
So
notes
we're on
coming.
chapter 26, and it's called The Transition. Oh, did you know you were transitioning?
Yes, I did know.
You are. Always transitioning. We're always moving into the more real world, right? We're always moving into the greater experience of reality. That's what this whole thing is about. What do you want in the world? This is what one of the biggest things that I get pushback from on A Course in Miracles when I'm teaching A Course in Miracles and other things, and as I said, Course in Miracles is a liberation text, and it helps you get what you want. Now, people hear that and they think a Maserati,
car,
or a
Money.
McMansion, right?
I've
Or
got
a-
a mansion just over the
I know.
hilltop. That's an old gospel song.
Or a bank account with at least 2 commas in it. Right? At least 2 commas. That's what we want. So he goes, I get what you want. No. The final law of chaos that our society and ignorance and suffering is built on is that we really do believe there's a substitute for love. There isn't. There's not a substitute for being present with yourself and being in the presence of God and being in the presence of love.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing, there's no substitute for it. It's the only thing. Just believe me, I'll save you time. This book has saved me lots and lots of suffering, lots and lots of time, because it's right.
Mm.
I've proved that it's right. I didn't take it on the things. I teach this because I believe it and I live by it. I live by it, and I can give you examples in my life that what is satisfying is being with you, not the management of material objects through space.
Mm.
The only thing that really jazzes me and gets me going is being with you.
That's really sweet.
And that's no accident. That's where we really live.
Mm.
One of the first big themes in A Course in Miracles I heard, and I've heard other Course in Miracles teachers say this as well, but is that we are mostly relationships, right? We're mostly a relationship. Think about the way we all have been taught the world exists and why it exists. It says, God so loved the world, that all this, a big bang, right? So God loves us. So we were created by God. The Course says you were loved into existence.
That I like. I
So
like that
I love
phrase
that idea.
very much.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're a mother or a father, you know what there's like. I've loved this into existence.
Or even if you're a creative person, like I know
okay.
Robin relates to writing songs and bringing her love into existence, and Arizona dances, and all of us have our things that we
love into
existence.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no accident. So what is this thing we keep putting? What is this thing that we keep putting between my ability to experience the presence of God? If you're God and a relationship and being in your presence is the only thing that's ever going to satisfy my soul, why do I make that so difficult? Because you still believe in time and space.
We all do. Don't go pointing the fingers now.
I know.
We all believe in time and space.
That is the error that we make. That's why she talks about, it goes, the first thing, the very first part of this chapter, and we're spending 2 weeks on this chapter because it's a longish kind of chapter. It's like 20 pages, 25 pages or so. So you get 2 weeks here. So it starts out with like, you think their solutions to your problems are the safety of an object or yourself. You think the safety of an object or your feelings is going to be how you solve problems. There's a physical solution to the problem. And we talked about that last week. There isn't a physical solution for a problem. You have to re-ask the question, first of all, because if your solution is to change something in the physical world, you've already lost. You've already, the Course says, delayed your happiness, right? Because if you're only going to be happy when you get a relationship, or you get the job, or you get the Maserati, or whatever it is, if you're only going to be happy when that happens, you've put your happiness, you made it conditional in the first place, which is nuts. And then you placed it into the future, which is also insane. Why would you do that? I want to be happy. No, you don't. You just said you won't be happy until you have this thing. So you've just set this task in front of you, that you may or may not complete. You've put your happiness up at the gamble of some roll of the dice thing like that. You don't want to be happy. You want to struggle and suffer. That's the choice you're making, or we're making, when we believe in this stuff. So why is justice placed in the chapter about the space-time continuum? Yeah. What the hell is justice doing in the space-time continuum?
Yeah, I want to know.
Well,
like I think I forgot.
Well, because
already,
okay,
I'm not sure.
She's
But
trying.
first we have a kitty.
We
butt.
have a cat.
Hey, kitty.
I know, cat butt. If you live with me, this she's a cat. It's a Leo over here. So she's a solidarity with cat butts, everyone. So what
Thank you,
is
Connie.
I know, what is justice doing in time and space? Well, we don't think of justice as having much to do with God in our culture. We don't really think that that justice is a divine quality. And what the Course in Miracles is trying to do here is claw justice back from time and space and place it as a characteristic of God, as a characteristic of you and me and our relationship. So, can we pull justice out of illusion, the illusory world of managing bodies and material things through space?
Okay.
You know, can we move? Justice doesn't have anything to do with property, doesn't have anything to do with
putting people in jail,
or restricting or confining or tit for tat or anything like that. Doesn't have anything to do. We often think of in our culture of justice as revenge.
Yeah.
Right? That somebody did something and now we have to make the scales balance again. Right? There's a reason why. Do you know who the goddess of justice is? I looked this up this week. Do you know who the goddess of justice is? Dike, D-I-K-E. So the goddess, the lady without a bra in the toga. You know, she's holding up the scales, and sometimes they put a blindfold on her, and she's carrying a knife too. Why would you give a blind woman a scale and a sword?
I don't know, but please tell me.
We think of this thing as the scales. She's going to measure out what you did. No. That's not the myth.
Okay.
She holds out the scales because you're equal. The people in this dispute are equal. You come to me because I place you both in front of God, and you're equal. We're the same before God, before justice. We're the same. And the Course in Miracles puts it this way: don't compare lives. Your life cannot be compared to another life. This comparing and saying it's better to live one way or better to live this other way is an act of trying to separate ourselves. And it's putting our happiness again in time and space. You don't want to put your happiness in time and space because it can be destroyed. If your happiness is in time and space, it can be destroyed. If justice is in time and space, it can be destroyed. We don't want justice to be destroyed. So how does the Course talk about justice? She says it this way: what blocks us from seeing other people, of being in the presence of other people? What's that block? She says in the first paragraph. And she goes, well, you think sometimes it's important to hurt people. Sometimes it's justified. You know, sometimes you have to be, it's just the way we are. Sometimes we have to kill people. That's just, sometimes these people have just got to be stopped, right? Because there are some acts of violence that are justified, and some acts of attacks that are justified, and some that are not. And we've decided that this set of circumstances means that we get to kill you or maim you or lock you up or chop things off of you, which has been done in history, especially to women who aren't, most of this stuff has been tried out on women and minorities. So that's how we do justice, because it's not really justice, it's conditioning.
And
right.
Revenge.
And revenge. Right. So she says, this is because you're trying to make your ego happy. And you're not trying to be happy. Because the ego just wants another feeling, wants to be on top, wants to experience power, wants to be right, wants to be in pleasure. It's a pleasure-seeking missile. That's all your ego is. It just reaches for power and luxury. That's all it does.
Which is exactly what Paul
Which is Wetiko.
The virus of selfishness.
The virus of selfishness.
I love how these things intertwine.
I know. What are the odds? She's reading this. Once you get on this path, everything starts to sync up. Yeah. It just really does. And I'm sure Jacqueline's show tonight is going to be on justice or some version of it, and I don't even know what she's going to do. But we'll tell you about that later. So So it's because we're trying to make the ego happy, and the ego doesn't understand what justice is. It just sees it as revenge or getting even or something like that. So in the next paragraph, she says, "You're already holy. You're already sacred. You're already whole and complete and lovely and a shining beacon of the light of God. You're already all of those things.
A human.
A human, right? And so is everybody else. There's that scale again. You know, you're not better than somebody else. You couldn't possibly be, nor do you even want to be. I don't want to. Why would you want to? Why would I want to be better than you? Or why would I want to be worse than you is the other side of that coin. Maybe it's safe for me to say, oh, you know, it's just so much better to be you. I want to be you.
I'm just a little old me.
Just a little, you know. We know, but there's people who find safety in that. And that's actually a survival skill.
Exactly.
So it has use. Okay? So our holiness is embedded, and this is how she says it, and this is the difficult thing is we don't recognize it, and these false ideas we have about what we're trying to satisfy and what's going to satisfy us in connection and relationship. So she says, if you can see, you can overcome this and know where your ego gets involved when you start to see your own holiness and your own understood sanity and sacredness. And she says, in every living thing.
Now that's our circle of love.
In every living thing. Not human, not what you understand or like or approve of. If it's in every living, God is us, and it's in every living thing. And that is where she jumps into the void, into this wonderful thing. She says, unfairness and attack are the same mistake. So if you're attacking, you've already blown it. You've already placed your happiness and your fulfillment in the material world. You've already blown it. Or when we go down that road, there's no solutions there. So are you looking for solutions? Do you want your life to get better? Do you want to get what you want? Right? These are very practical questions. And what we do there is she understands the root of your ego and the way this operates is the projection of loss. Do you remember I said, when you think of time, I want you to associate loss with time. Right. And she does it here again. We've placed justice in the material world because we have this sense of like loss over it. And if it's justice, I need you to lose something. You know? You're like, I need you to lose your life. I need you to lose your money. I need you to lose something in order for me to get your freedom. It's always, and we don't want, because, it's injustice. When you want to restrict me, it's called injustice because it's not supposed to happen to me. So she says, and I quote, what can be made unjust, then he be deprived, and this is the person you're dealing with, or us, what can be more unjust than he be deprived of what he is, denied the right to be himself.
Right.
You know what that's her definition of justice. Denying the right of somebody else.
Injustice.
In the
definition of injustice.
The definition of injustice.
Thank you, because
the definition of injustice is denying somebody else's ability to appear and present however they are.
And again, I want to bring up this book because that was the cause of his own suffering.
We all, I want to be different sometimes. You know, just want to be different. I want to lose weight. I want to have more hair, and I'd like to,
Well, to be restricted from being yourself in the world is psychologically damaging. Is what
Yes,
Paul Levy
but there's
saying.
a lot of support in the culture for you to change in order. You have to change some physical thing in order to be happy, right? You need to buy this toothpaste or get this house or speak this language or be shaped this way. All of it. That's the time and space part. That's
Right.
putting it in the material object. And we learned last week that time requires mass and movement.
Right.
Right. So
E equals MC squared.
E equals MC squared. So time requires a physical object to measure, because
Right.
time is the measure of what changes or what is not true.
I really like that definition. Yeah.
That's the measure we made. It's not even a real measure,
Mhm.
because my cat doesn't measure time.
The same way.
And a
we
butterfly on a tree is going to measure time in a completely different way. This tree is eternal.
Mhm.
You know, you're the caterpillar, the butterflies on the tree. It's like, this tree has always been here and will always be here. This tree is eternal. It's a completely understand. So we're making that up too. We're calling this is 9 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever it is, and it has its uses. I don't want to say that, but I'm trying to say, where's your justice? To see how justice, time is associated with loss, and to forego loss, we try to make things equal. And we're talking about comparing lives to physical objects.
Mm.
It gets really, really, really messy. So, and she even calls this in the chapter the game you play with the world.
Right.
The game you play with the world is that you think time is real, think it's better to be somebody else.
Mhm.
That if you can attack the right people and be saved from attack by the right people, then you have an opportunity to experience a physical sense of safety and happiness. And it's not true. It's a game that we're playing. So she says, beware. Beware of the temptation to perceive yourself as unfairly treated.
Huh.
Isn't that tough?
That is tough for me.
Beware, you know, she doesn't say you're going to experience it or
Right.
that you're wrong or bad, but she says, put a little red
flag
flag in. I've been unfairly treated.
Mm-hmm.
Look into that when it happens. And she calls it the game of loss. When you, it's like, they took my dignity, they took my happiness, they took my good mood, they took my innocence, so they, you know, and I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get it back, you know. And so this is the fun part, what actually I really loved. The Holy Spirit's in this chapter about loss in time and space and justice. The course gives you the purpose. Another states again what the Holy Spirit's purpose is for your life. She states again what we're supposed to be all about if you want to have what you want. And she says this: let the presence of your holy guests be known to you. The world is purposeless without this. Let the presence of your holy guests, all the other members of the one creation, be your holy guest. To be appreciated, right? She uses that word guest really. What do you do with the guest? You make up the bed and you clean the house whenever the guests are. I hope you do. I mean, I don't, because we're filthy, you know. But
you wouldn't want to stay over here.
But what do you do? What's the sense of a guest? I mean, I've worked in hospitality a lot. I worked in the hospitality thing for about 20 years before I got my degree, and there were guests. When you go in to sit down, he goes, these guests, you know, you talk about the people at your table or the people in the hotel room or whatever it is. They're guests, and that means they're to be treated a certain way. So we understand this concept. That's justice. Let them be who they are. They're a guest in this world, just like you are, just like we are. And my ability to appreciate the presence of my guests, the ability to appreciate you and what you bring to the world, is justice. And it's a quality of God. It is not in time and space. She offers us the idea. Justice isn't in time and space, and it doesn't have anything to do with material objects. It has a material expression, right? Because we have bodies and we're living in the world. But that's not where justice resides, any more than that's where God resides. God resides in the creation of it as us. The world requires a living being to manipulate it. Us. Material objects require a living being to exist. There has to be something alive in a tree in order for it to make more tree, right? So there has to be a living thing in order for there to be a reflection of a material good. So justice cannot be, if it's a quality of God, originate in material existence. It isn't the management of things. It's the management. Justice is the recognition that we're all the same. And that more than the same is that you're valuable. I have sacred, holy value to you.
And you too.
You're sacred and holy and have immense value to my existence. I cannot exist without your holy presence, without your holy being, without you also being here. You're part of that. All living beings. Right? She says, all living beings. Nobody's excluded from all living beings, right? We don't even know what all living beings are. We're all on this planet. What are the other I like science fiction, so but what are all these other planets out there? All these other things. Could there be other living beings? Yes, they're just as necessary as we are. So as a conclusion, remember that false ideas require a living being to create them, maintain them, and sell them. Without us maintaining a bad idea, like competition is real or justice is the management of material object, and if you can stop any of that along that process, the idea falls away because it can't exist without us buying into it, because it requires our living presence to do it. See divinity all around us. See your divinity expressing all around us, and listen to the voice that likes you. Listen to the voice that likes you. She will remind you that we are one, and she'll even tell you how to act like it.
Yeah,
I love that.
And so
it is. So I'm your favorite anarchist preacher, integral mentor, and you are at church with a 2-drink minimum.
Whee!
There we are.
Whee!
So tell us about this song, sweetie. Oh,
I am.
It's late.
Well, Jacqueline just gave us a sweet little note. She said,
I talked too much.
You did. I was fascinated, though. I wasn't even poking you. I wasn't even going, hurry up.
You don't see this, but I'm bruised. I'm just a giant bruise from here down.
Well, okay, so let me do this. This is my song, Queero. I just released it on Tuesday as my first children's storybook, and you can get it. I know, I'm so excited about it.
I know, she wrote a book before me.
And you know, you can get it in hard copy or as a PDF download if you want to at yolandananda.net. And I'm so excited to share this with you because the artist and I just really resonated, and it was like I told him, like he picked out these images from my brain because in many ways he perfectly portrayed the vision, you know, of this story. So it's a story of a childhood friend of mine who became an ally when I really, really needed it in the 4th grade, and we were the closest from the 4th grade to the 8th grade, and then I moved away. But for 40 years, basically, we didn't see each other, and then I found her again last September. So this is called Queero.
They called her Queero. She was my friend. She was my shero. We would proclaim that we were witches, and we cast spells on bullies and bitches. We'd say, burn away my shame. Burn away my pain. I am Queero. I am Queero. In junior high, she became a cheerleader, and I became the one who was queerer. And when everyone else was embarrassed of me, Queero became like family. We'd say, burn away my shame. Burn away my pain. I am Queero. I am Queero. My family moved away and we lost touch. The pain of losing Queero was too much, but the memory of our friendship made me strong to face my hardships for many years to come. My Facebook searches found a woman who grew from that girl. I finally felt her loving embrace at my mother's funeral. She's still my friend. She's still my shero. Living in our hometown, she fights for rights for all of us queeros. We still cast spells on bullies and bitches, 'cause me and Queero, we're powerful witches. And we say, burn away our shame. Burn away our pain. We are Queero. We are Queero.
There we go.
Okay. All right. And thank you.